We're live with our Luke and Susie Discourse. Hello, Suze.
Hello.
Everyone thinks that, like, why do you say hello to each other or talk like you haven't actually spoken?
Because often we haven't actually spoken yet.
Haven't spoken. The last thing I said to Suze was she walked in the background of a meeting and I was confused because she didn't bring me coffee.
I normally do.
You do?
Yeah, or a drink of some sort.
So other people in the meeting had people bringing them coffee and I just assumed that you got the memo, Suze.
Nope.
Hey, we've got a whole bunch of questions we're going to get through some are really interesting. I've had different emotional roller coasters in response to these, about taking risks, about planning dinners, about buttering toast. All the big questions, Suze.
Yeah, can't wait.
We're going to get into this. Stay on the chat if you're on YouTube or if you're on the social media. Make sure you add the chat and it will come straight through to us and you can be a part of the show. The Luke and Susie quotable in just moments, and it's talking about insanity.
It's Luke and Susie with Faith, Family, Culture. Luke and Susie with you. We're broadcasting from Greece.
The wise words of someone from yesteryear. With Luke and Susie and Faith, Family, Culture, we are getting into our Luke and Susie Discourse, Suze, exploring a bit of risk-taking. As a general rule, would you consider yourself a risk-taker?
Risk-averse. Not a fan. I was watching videos the other day, just the reels that come up on social media, and I saw someone bungee jumping, and I thought, there is zero reason in my life that I would ever need or want to do that.
I'm interested because for me, what I would deem some of the biggest risks I've taken in my life have been by the prompting of you. And the calming influence of you. So you're an anti-risk taker, but in a certain context.
Oh, yeah, I push everyone else to take risks. Yeah.
We're going to get to this in our Luke and Susie Discourse.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
So you say you're risk-averse, Suze, and the question that's been asked to us is, what's the biggest risk that you've taken? And when you think about risk, you think of bungee jumping and all these high adrenaline.
But having said that, the answer that I wrote down to this was about starting the business.
Right.
Together, you and I. I think that was the biggest risk we've ever taken because we've got little lives that depend on us.
Yeah.
And it was a big financial risk. And,
I
I reckon that's the biggest risk in reality.
Well, one of the biggest, the one that came to mind for me was actually a time when we were about to get married. And there was this, I was a little bit sort of overwhelmed because I felt like there was this calling to this other city and town that was different to what and I'm freaking out and I'm on the phone to you going, but, like we're planning to go here and then it feels like God's saying going over there, what do we do? And you went, what do you mean, what do we do? We go where God is telling us to go. I'm like, oh, well, that really simplified things.
When there's clear calling, it's fine.
Yeah, but how do you know it was clear? Because the reality was I felt this calling to this place, to have this job, to have this career, which started to end up being in this role, but they didn't know it yet. We actually started moving city and booking a house before the place where I was to work knew that I was to work there.
Yeah.
And so we just started doing all this in faith that I was right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So, okay, was that God's calling or was it just indigestion? I'm not, just that for me feels risky.
Yeah.
Trusting my little instinct of what God's saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's open up and let's get some thoughts about the biggest risk that you've taken.
Vicky, think about your life. What do you reckon is one of the biggest risks that you've taken in your life?
Well, I actually, hey, how are you two?
It's so good to see you.
I had a thought about this when you asked me the question, and I'm actually in a decision and a risk right now about developing something that's actually going to be huge for a little community. Keith and I, my husband and I, moved about 2 hours west of Brisbane, and one of the things that the little towns are lacking is medical services, or services of all sorts, gardening and plumbing and all sorts of things. And when I was chatting to a lady, she was mentioning that the aged people can't get anything. So we got to hear about this community health providers where the locals are employed to meet the needs of the aged care. So we're about to launch on the 6th of October a brand new organisation that will do just that. And I'm just
Wow.
it's scary and it's huge and so big risk, but that's
I love your
why I
heart
think
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love your heart in that, Vicky, that it's
Awesome.
about serving others. And I just,
It
we'll be
is.
praying for
It
that.
is.
It's an exciting opportunity, though it is risky.
Yeah.
It is risky, yes.
Yeah,
But
so
like you, I
good.
wouldn't be jumping off any bungee
It just seems silly, if you ask me, the idea of jumping off something like that. Craig, how about you? When you think about your life, what's the biggest risk you think you've taken in your life?
Yep. So I went as a part of my aircrew training to do combat survival, and part of it is escape and evasion, where they basically put you on a hilltop, give you a map that has no markings on it, and say, right, figure out where you are, and you've got 5 minutes, and the pursuit team with all the doggies and all that sort of stuff will be sent after you 5 minutes after you go. So we figured out where we were, we bolted, and as a part of that, they have to catch you within 2 days. You've got to make this rendezvous point. And I remember coming up to the side of like this mountainous cliff, and we knew they were coming, and they're only they were only about 2 minutes behind us. So we decided to, no ropes or safety gear or anything, scale this tiny little ledge around the edge off this massive drop off, probably at least 30 meters, just to get away from the doggies. And we ended up getting away, but that was probably the biggest risk I've ever taken, because it was just like the white knuckles and moving across, and that was pretty cool.
My heart rate has elevated significantly through this conversation, Craig. Wow, that is intense.
I realize there's another moment in our life where there's a big risk that we take, and that is when there's a moment in parenting with young children where you go, is that chocolate or is
it not chocolate?
And so how do you determine what the answer is? No matter which way, it's risky.
It's totally risky. Juliet, what do you think is the biggest risk you've taken in your life?
Well, I was just listening to Craig going, that sounds like fun. Where can I sign up for that?
Wow.
I read your question and I was like, going through the list in my head, I'm like, actually, we take so many risks. Like, I didn't realize that I was so chasing. And my kids too, we've kind of got to a point where I'm like, I don't know where they go now. Do they like jump out of a plane now or like go bungee jumping? But the biggest one probably was like taking my daughter to America to have surgery. That was a big risk. And pulling all my kids out of school and homeschooling them, because that has like lifelong like consequences. So they're big ones. But then as a family, like we've been whitewater rafting and snorkeling and on spontaneous airplane trips, and like my kids have jumped off huge towers and zip lines, and like we just risks all over the place. But that
adventurous.
Yeah, Craig's thing. I'm like, I'd sign up for that.
Okay.
Producer.
Crawling around a ledge to escape dogs. That's your next level of risk, Juliet.
Sounds like it.
Producer Sammy, are you a risk taker? I've thrown to you without the actual knowing you've got a headset. You don't have a headset, so I'm gonna actually just leave you alone.
All right.
I thought you had a mic. You were all mic'd up, but you're not. So go away.
Anna, have you taken some big risks in your life?
The biggest risk is moving into retirement village, and now I've bought a camper van as well, so to go camping. So I'm signing up to groups so that I'm not going to be doing it on my own. But they're the biggest risks I've ever taken, really. Yeah. And at my age, I'm just happy with that, you know.
Yeah, that's so good.
I think getting out, exploring our country that we live in is great, you know.
Yes, 100%.
You've got to do it,
There is a big risk in setting up camp too far away from the toilet block. That's
there is for me.
That's That's
Yes.
a huge risk. That's touch and
Yeah.
go for some of us.
Yes.
Love it. If you've got a big risk that you've taken, we'd love to hear from you on the SMS 0417 455 37. The biggest risk that you've ever taken. That's 0417 455 37 on the SMS. With our Luke and Susie discourse, Alison has asked a question that on the surface seems like a bit of a, sort of everyday kind of question. But then I stopped to think about it. I went, oh my gosh, there's so much emotion tied to this.
Yeah.
So much stress tied to Alison's question. How do you plan your dinner? Do you plan ahead with weekly menus the night before? Or on the day of or half an hour before dinner? There is an array there, Suze. I'll let you answer on our behalf.
Yeah. Look, my ideal is, and my preference is to be planned, because it just makes the week run so much smoother when you're planned and organised, and it's all what's coming up the next night, particularly with our sons, because when we pick them up from school, the first question is always, what's for dinner? But our reality...
He can have multiple meals between then and dinner, and he'll still be asking,
what's for dinner?
He's planning ahead.
Yeah, but our reality is all too often half an hour before.
Sometimes 15 minutes after.
Yeah.
The days sometimes get a hold of you, even when we have stuff in the fridge and we have the menu plan. Sometimes just we're more a spontaneous than a diligently planned family.
Our days fall apart all too regularly in reality
and easily
for us. Trish, what is it like for you in your household? Are you one of those wonderfully organised people who prepares ahead your week of meals, or are you sort of a last minute or a day before sort of person? What is it for you?
Have we got you unmuted? Let's get Trish unmuted there. We can't unmute you, Trish, but you have to. There we go.
There we go. Hey.
Hello. I'm going to say I'm a bit of both. I like to be prepared. I've mentioned before I have a Thermomix and I like to do the meal plan and all that stuff, and I do the shopping list, and I'm that sort of person. But lately with work and whatever, that's gone out the window a little bit, and my husband is the one that says, "What's for dinner?" And he's been home before me. He hasn't thought about it, so I would prefer to be organised and have the meal plan in place, because it does make it run smoother. But lately, it's been a bit of slap together, whatever.
So Trish, I'm afraid to say that if you were trying to hide your emotional reaction to your husband asking for dinner, the tone in which you mimicked him, what's for dinner?
Gave it away. Gave it away.
What was that? Sorry.
That's called 30 years of marriage.
Yeah.
So funny. Caroline, how about you? Are you prepared? You know exactly what's coming up this week in your meals, or is it last minute for you?
We do HelloFresh, so we're pretty organised with our meals. Before we did that, I had to plan for every 2 weeks because we get paid fortnightly. So I had to do a 2-week meal plan. So I like to be organised. It doesn't always go to plan.
Yeah.
Last night I was making a book week costume, so my husband had to decide what we're having for dinner. But mostly we're organised.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's where the kids come to you at just around dinner time one night and go, "Oh, tomorrow I need," and then it's this list of elaborate things that they haven't told you about, and then suddenly you're like, "What?"
Yeah, well, I was making a book week costume, and now Ruby probably won't be going because she's unwell. So that's great.
Oh, no.
Hey, this is what the advantage of social media is. It doesn't have to go to waste. Have your own book week party at home.
Yeah, make her wear the costume
anyway. She'll be wearing it for Halloween. Don't worry, I'll make her wear it.
She'll be wearing it when she's cleaning her room. She'll be wearing it when all the relatives come over. Yeah, make it worthwhile.
Definitely. Beck, how about for you? Do you plan ahead when it comes to the meals, or is it a little bit of a last-minute spontaneity?
Sure do, because I like to make sure I've got all the ingredients there, because I certainly don't want to be going to the shops. So it's a plan, but not like on Monday I do this, Tuesday I do that. It's just like, this is what you could have this week, and here are the ingredients.
And then see how you feel on the day.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
only plan like 3 out of the 5, and the rest are as you feel on the day.
So you do your shopping almost like a MasterChef mystery box. We put a bunch of ingredients in there. We'll work it out later, as long as we know we've got the ingredients in there.
Oh, well, I actually have like the meal and the ingredients for it. Yeah, not exactly like a mystery box. The days that aren't planned, they're like the mystery box. What's left? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. What can I make out of this?
I love those moments when you haven't planned. You go to the fridge and then you go, "What can I put in a jaffle? Like what? What's going to make a toasted sandwich here?" Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's right. Oh, goodness me. I'm getting a bit envious of people who are a bit more organised than we are. Juliet, do you plan ahead when it comes to the meals, or is it last minute for you?
It's a bit of both, I think. I kind of tend to need to have 2 options for my kids, because if I just tell them what we're having, all of them will turn around and be like, "No, I don't want that. I don't like it." So I'll give them an option, but normally one option is like porridge or like toast. And then, like, I'm happy either way. They can choose the meal or they can have porridge, because that's not going to take me much time.
Yeah.
And then so it's a bit of both, but with the option of having something super simple.
Yep. I love it. Hey, there's lots of different ways in which we navigate this part of our world, but there is stress and emotion. We'd love to hear your thoughts, though, about how you go about planning your dinner on the SMS 0417 455 37. That's 0417 455 37.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
This, Suze, was a question that I think is an unnecessary question, but the mere fact that someone has asked it means it must, to somebody, be an option. Debbie's asked, do you butter your toast as soon as it pops or wait till it's cold? Who waits till it's cold? Really? Is that even a viable option, or should someone get arrested for that, Suze?
Well, we'll find out if it's something that people do.
Have you ever, deliberately waited till it's cold?
Deliberately, no, but I'm a mum,
yes.
so,
I understand that there are times when it just happens and you go, but I've often gone, do I put it back in for just a little bit longer just to heat it? Do I have enough room?
Yeah, see, for me, the reality is I don't actually eat toast very often. So it's, for me, toast is almost like a treat breakfast. And so the melted butter is the treat of the toast. So it has to be.
Absorb in.
Has to be straight away.
Producer Sammy, what about, is there even an option to butter it while it's with it cold, or is it got to be straight out of the toaster?
I think it depends, and I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah, we've got you.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm going to be adding some kind of spread to it, then I want the butter to melt. But Australians have this really awful thing called Vegemite. So I have to wait for it to be cold so that when I put the Vegemite on, the butter is protecting me.
Okay, you don't have to eat Vegemite, right? It is an option.
There's no law.
Well, see,
it's fine.
Between Lachlan and I would prefer Bovril, which you guys don't get here, so then I end up getting Marmite. He prefers Vegemite. So if we're both eating it, I might as well just eat the Vegemite.
Isn't Bovril just an ingredient for pie sauce?
No, that's Bonox.
Bonox, okay.
Yeah.
What's Bovril?
Bovril is a beef spread.
Oh.
Yeah.
Marmite's made with wheat.
There's a lot of ways I want my beef.
Luke likes Promite.
Spread on toast is not one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Sarah's jumped on and said cold 100%. What? Needs to be crispy.
Yeah.
This is highly unusual.
But that's what you just toast it crispier. And the butter's still... Oh.
All right, Anna, how about you? When it comes to the toast, do you put the butter on when it's hot or do you wait till it's cold?
Well, it depends on how busy I am. If it goes cold, I just put the Vegemite on very thinly with plenty of butter. So it doesn't matter to me. I'll have it either way. No,
okay. You just eat the toast.
Yeah. Cold or hot.
Cold
Whatever
or
happens.
hot. Whatever happens. I like it. Take it as it comes. Craig, the toast goes pop. Do you have to get the butter on quickly or is it okay if it cools down?
Not okay if it cools down. No. It's just like eating cardboard. So no. gotta be hot.
So Alison says depends on what's going on the toast. Cinnamon and sugar goes on well on hot, buttered toast, but Vegemite on toast, I prefer it when it's cold. And then Alison said that's a Dutch toast idea.
Yeah. Cinnamon and sugar, very nice.
Oh,
Sarah said when the butter goes on hot, the toast will go soft and soggy. So that's what she was saying with it being crispy.
It doesn't go soft and soggy if you toast it properly. Like if you soft toast it, yeah, sure.
This is pulling out a lot of emotions that I wasn't expecting.
Have we got a therapist on the line?
We might need one.
Can you specialise as a toast therapist?
Vicky, if you're having a piece of toast, do you need the butter to go on while it's hot or cold?
Well, it can't be too hot, but it can't be too cold. So I'm a bit of each way, middle
You
of
are the
road.
mama bear. Yeah, not too hot,
Get
not too
off
cold.
the fence, Vicky.
Yeah, it has to be right on the fence. Now,
Right.
this is my dream: is a thick spread butter on a piece of white bread toast, which neither of it I can eat anymore. So, yeah, but it's a dream.
Yeah. Look, in the end, there's some points where you just you're happy with whatever. Like the morning's so busy and frantic. Just it's even better when somebody else butters and spreads it for you. Makes it, delivers
that's a good idea.
He says, looking at me.
I didn't mean to. I wasn't thinking that, but sure. Hey, instinct kicks in, Suze. Instinct kicks in.
Trish, if you're having a piece of toast, do you need the butter to go on while it's hot? Or is it okay if it's cold?
It's not even a question. It has to be hot.
Yeah.
Butter has to melt. And I, like Luke, would actually consider putting it back in the toaster for a minute or like 20 seconds just to warm it up so that you put the butter on. And it doesn't go soggy if you've done it right. Then, that's a Vegemite and cheese. Yum.
Look.
So then the cheese melts a little bit too.
Yeah. Now, so I've even though I've been passionate, I've softened a little bit to go, okay, maybe I'm willing to accept there's other ways in the world to have your toast other than how I think it's perfect. So I'm
very mature
I'm
of you.
very grace-filled like that. Like, I'm not going to unfriend someone on Facebook because they butter their toast cold. I might not invite them to my Christmas party, my toast Christmas party, but I might not reject them on Facebook.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
Right, Jarko, he's getting into high-end fashion conversations, and I'm not sure he's qualified, but let's just check. He says, as we come into spring, jeans with pluggers are slowly making an appearance, which I think is just not on. What season fashion trend don't you like? First of all, jeans with any kind of thong, plugger, croc, slide is more than appropriate. Just because you have to be business above the ankles doesn't mean you can't be casual and play below the ankles. That's all I'm saying. If someone's looking at your face and then your feet, then they're probably not paying attention to what you're saying. Say stuff more interesting. I don't know. That's just a bit of ranting there, Suze. What do you think? Is there fashion trends that come in seasons that you don't like?
I'm joined by a friend as I answer this question.
Right.
Socks and Crocs, I think is a major fashion no-no. Caroline, your thoughts on fashion no-nos?
It would have to be the Crocs.
Yeah.
And that's just not a seasonal thing. That's year-round.
Yeah, every season.
Yeah.
Every season, and particularly
100%.
with socks.
Do you know specifically,
that's like the worst.
the start of winter is the ideal time for the socks and Crocs. Like you're coming out of, it's all summery and warmy kind of life, and then it's just starting to get a little bit chilly, so you leave the socks on, but then you've got to go out to the shops. So you don't want to have to put shoes on. You just duck them down.
So you put actual footwear on?
No, you just slide into your Crocs, and it's just perfect.
Actual proper footwear.
It's the best of both worlds.
Mm.
You need to support your feet. Your feet need good support. Crocs do not do that. They don't support anything.
Yeah. So Caroline, you would love, there was this one day in the build-up to Father's Day at church where they gave everyone, they were knockoff Calvin Kleins, but they were Calvin Klein socks, and I just got to take a photo of myself in church with my Calvin Klein knockoff socks with my Crocs, in church.
So obviously your pastor was boring you because you're looking at your feet.
Hey, it is what it is. He just needs to up his level of preaching, or I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, that came round and bit you in the bottom, didn't it, Luke?
Nice little call back there from Caroline.
Thank you for your support, Caroline. Beck, when it comes to fashion no-nos, what do you think is a seasonal trend that you just don't like?
Anything that isn't appropriate for the weather. So say you're like dressed in summer attire and it's actually winter, that kind of thing, it bugs me.
Yeah, okay.
I would annoy the living daylights out.
And I live in the Gold Coast, so I get it. But, sometimes it's like, it's cold.
Yeah.
Put a jumper on.
I'm the sort of person, Beck, that would wear shorts in winter and a jumper in summer. Absolutely. No question about it. Like, I would annoy you all year round.
Yeah, like my kids would go to the beach. It's hot with the jumpers on, full long sleeve and sneakers.
Yeah, but you're right. All it does is it prompts that conversation. It's either you're saying, "Aren't you hot?" or "Aren't you cold?"
I'm hot, so therefore you are. Don't you know it's like to be a mum?
Yeah, that's right.
Or a dad.
You need to dress according to my experience of the weather.
Hey, going to the messages, Alison says Crocs, just paraphrasing, and the next Alison, who's a different one, says socks and sandals, and then the next Alison said agree. I might have left out a few words that were negative on each and every one of those comments that were advocating against all of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of no's that you didn't seem to mention in the midst of that. Juliet, is there a seasonal fashion trend that you just do not like?
I think it's a bit like the Crocs and socks, but when people wear Ugg boots, but then they're wearing like shorts and skirts, and I'm like, are you cold or are you warm? Like,
yes. Yeah, no, that's
very
fair.
confusing.
That's fair. At least I
or
keep,
like those big winter jackets with a skirt or shorts.
Yeah. Well, see, I live where my upper body temperature is different from my lower body temperature, so I can go. I can understand, and I live in that space. But what you're talking about was, in the first instance, was both lower body, and so like surely your lower body, your waist is where the temperature has to have.
It's the equator of the body.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's that midline. Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
Miriam's got on the chat and said, clothes that look like underwear. Come on! 4 exclamation marks. It's underwear. Tops especially. So I think Miriam really expressed some great emotion in the midst of that message. Do you remember that ad where it was the guy walking along the beach in his small little swimsuit and is going, togs, 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 and then he walks across the street to the shopping centre and goes, undies, undies, saying there's a line. You're at the beach, it's togs, and then you go to the shop, it's undies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a line. Trish, is there any fashion trend, seasonal one that you are not a fan of?
There's a couple. Socks and thongs, not just Crocs, thongs.
Yeah, I am with you on that.
I live in North Queensland, and it's just wrong. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? If you even wear that. Yeah, and the other one is like, men at the beach with like a mankini or some weird and wonderful contraption.
I'm not sure what beaches you're going to. But okay. All right. I'm not going to ask too many probing questions on that one.
I do think the mankini is an odd invention.
Yeah. At one point, someone looked at that and went, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But the socks and thongs.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to create a torture program, then that's what it would include. Like, there's just the sock, unless it's like your little finger socks, the ones that wrap around your toes.
Toe socks?
Sorry. Where are your fingers? Aren't they at the end of your foot? All right, okay. I said I was picturing like gloves, and I said fingers instead of toes. Thank you, Suze, for that clarification. But they're the glove ones. Then the little plugger doesn't sort of interfere with the sock. But otherwise, just ridiculous, Suze. Listen to us, the fashion police. I clearly am not qualified for this whatsoever.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right, Suze, we're going shopping with someone who's asking a few too many preparation questions, if I'm honest. Debbie's asked about, do you use a shopping list when you go shopping and go up and down each aisle, or do you just go all over the shop randomly guessing items as you remember them?
Just one of those and one of those.
Well, so for me, the concept, the thought, the idea of the shopping list and going up and down and just getting what's on your list is really ideal. But I get so bored, Susie, and then I can't find the one thing, and then I can't work out what aisle it's in. And if I wasn't trying to follow a list, like, do you write the list in the order of the aisles that you're going to be in there, and how well do you have to know the supermarket to be able to do that? And what if you visit a supermarket you don't normally go, and now you don't know the order of everything where it's at? And I just the list becomes too overwhelming for me at times. So online shopping for me, that's it, and it avoids all of this.
A lot of supermarkets actually, you can do your list on their app, and it tells you which aisle everything's in and sorts it for you.
That's just so tedious and problematic in so many.
You might as well online shop. I need to have a list. If I don't have a list, guaranteed I come home without the most important thing and the reason that I went to the shop in the first place. Yeah. So it has to be, I have to write it down somewhere.
Yeah, I love the taste of my no list. It's very delicious, of all the things that end up in my trolley with it that were never going to make the list. It's the most delicious way to shop, Suze.
Well, yeah.
Go hungry.
That's I don't necessarily stick to just the list, but if I have a list, I at least get everything I need.
Yeah. So you worry about what you're going to forget rather than I always, without a list, there's all this extra stuff that ends up in my trolley that I don't need.
Yeah.
Surely that should be on the list.
I've noticed.
Hey.
Vicky, when you go to the shops, time to do the grocery shopping, do you need to have a list, or are you just grab it as I need it?
Well, 10 years ago or so, I would have had a paper list and promptly left it home on the bench and tried to remember what I had to get. But now I have shop, and it's brilliant. So 3, 4, 5 things go on my shop list, and it's always in my back pocket. So
shop.
I have a list, but I also shop randomly. Like I just walk up and
what are you meaning when you're saying your shop list?
It's an app on my phone. So it's a shopping list on my phone, and it stores everything like you were saying, it stores everything that you have bought in the past, and then you just go through it and tick it, and it comes up, and then you tick it when you've got it off the shelf. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Easy.
So, yeah.
I'm just most impressed with their creative team to go, the word shop's already taken. What are we going to do?
Shop.
Say it again. Shop.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds cool. That could be handy.
Yeah, but I do tend to do, like, I'll do duck to the shop for 3 things, but then once a month or so I'll go and do a big shop and do all the
essentials.
Yeah.
Well, I hate decisions, and sort of if there's too much choice in front of me, which is why I love online shopping. And before I go to anything else, I go to you've bought this in the past.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll do that again. Yep. And then I don't have to keep remaking decisions.
Ticking boxes is so much easier.
I think I'm much more disciplined than that, and I'll just go and say, well, yep, here's the Glad wrap, and I'll get the Glad wrap. That's
So someone's already searching the app store for.
I'm not one. Sorry, I would not one who'll just explore all the options in the shop. I can't stand taking too long in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Same. I don't like shopping, and so the more efficient it can be, the better. Yeah.
Miriam's already been searching up Shop on Google Play. It doesn't look like it's on the Google app list, but it is on Apple. So.
No, that's not fair. I've got a Samsung.
Yeah.
Anna, what about you? When you go grocery shopping, do you need to have a list, or do you just do it all from memory, grab stuff off the aisles as you need it?
No, I try and have a list. I need a list to walk down the aisles and get what I need. And all the extras, especially chocolate.
So you're like, I'm going to put chocolate on the list, whereas I pretend, because I always, the theory is, Anna, if it's not on the list, you don't get the calories. They don't count.
Yeah. That's what they say.
I don't know about that. But I don't even write that down. I just know it's going to be in the trolley.
Yeah. All right. Susie and I would say when we get home from one of those shops, we go, it fell in.
It fell in.
I didn't choose it. It just fell in. Yeah.
I was going down that chocolate aisle and everything fell in. Miriam's found it. It's one word, shop, not 2 words. Makes all the difference.
It's 2 words as 1 word.
Yeah,
it's
2
one
words
word
as
twice as 1 word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beck, do you need a list when you go shopping?
Yes, I do. If they want to come back with what I need, yeah. But I actually do a click and collect these days. So you got your list there. You go through the bought before, click, and then pick it up.
Yeah.
I love click and collect.
Click and collect is actually my favourite because it's quicker, easier,
Thanks,
and you don't
COVID.
feel like a slack. But yeah, exactly right. They've really upped the ante on how they serve in that way. It's brilliant.
It's excellent. Very, very good. Caroline, when you go shopping, is it a list for you or do you just figure what you need as you go?
I actually do online shopping, but when we need stuff during the week, I just chuck it in the Woolies trolley. So it's like my shopping list.
Oh, yeah.
So I just jump on the app and then pop straight in the trolley, and then it's sitting there waiting for me to pay for it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a clever idea, actually.
Miriam has actually messaged through, and I think this is a really good point. As much as I love online shopping, she says, during lockdown, I shopped online, but didn't like it. I had no control of picking the right apples.
Yes.
And stuff like that. I went, sometimes it can bug me.
The fruit and veggie thing is problematic.
If it comes in and go, no, that's not the ones I like. And then when they replace an item, and I know you can check to not replace an item.
Sometimes it wins for you though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes
it's like that's not even close.
Yeah, I know, right? So they replaced it was like Tina wafers for a dessert thing that would, and they replaced it with like some completely unrelated weird biscuit that I've never eaten in my life. And I'm like, okay, they're in the category of biscuits vaguely. But like no person is going, do I choose between this like weird ginger nut thing or a Tina wafer? Like that's not an option someone's tossing up between. Don't understand what was going on. It must have been a 15-year-old kid who had no idea.
Luke's very passionate about biscuits. You should
I see
know
that.
this up front.
Okay. I didn't realise that was all coming out so clearly. Yeah.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right, Suze. This is an interesting question that has been asked and sent through on our list.
Do you know, when we are preparing to do these questions, I always go through and I write my answers down.
Yeah.
And I got to this one. It's the only one I haven't written an answer down for.
Because it's a yes or no question in a sense. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No.
Yes.
What? It's not a sandwich.
It's meat between bread.
Yeah, but you're in Australia. There is only one definition of a sandwich, and it's sliced bread. It doesn't have to be meat. It's sliced bread. Like in America, they'll call a sub a sandwich, but in Australia, we don't call a sub a sandwich.
So it's a bread roll.
So a hot dog is a hot dog. It's specifically, it's got its own category. It's hot dog. Like it's a hot dog bun. Specifically, it doesn't matter what you put in the hot dog bun. If it's a strip of meat, it's a hot dog of some kind because it's a hot dog bun. It's named that. There's no other name for that, is there?
I don't know, but I feel like it could be used for a sub.
Yeah, no, sub's longer. But okay, all right, Craig. I think there's a length on it on what defines it as a sub. What do you think? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
You know I love you, Luke, but I'm with Susie on this one. It's a sandwich.
It's not meat between bread.
It is. Yep.
Well,
it's
what's a
bread
burger?
surrounding a filling. Doesn't matter.
What's a
Look,
burger?
you go over in America, they call them sandwiches as well.
Yeah, in America. That's what I say. I really did clarify. We're in Australia. We're not American.
Yeah, I know.
We can. Yeah. All
right. Maybe what we need to do, Craig, is give Luke subcategories. So we've got sandwich is the big category, and then it's broken down into burgers and sandwiches and bread rolls.
No. Sandwich is its own standalone. It's sliced bread. Sliced bread only is a sandwich.
This passion is coming out today.
I'm very clear on this. Caroline, please help me. I see you nodding, hopefully in support of me.
My brain's hurting because I so agree with you.
Yeah. I know.
I
That's
agree with
painful
you.
in every way. Yeah.
It hurts. I'm 100%. It's not a sandwich. A sandwich is 2 flat pieces of bread.
Yep. Sliced bread. That's it.
Ask the Earl of
Everything else is a
Sandwich who
different category.
invented sandwiches.
Oh. Miriam's cheering us on, Caroline. She says, "Stick to your guns,
All right.
Luke.
Okay.
It's Australia."
All right. So, would you call that a bread roll?
No, a bread roll, I would put salad in a bread roll. And that
It's
would
a
be a
hot
bread roll. A hot
It's a hot
dog
dog.
is its own category. Even if you put a sausage in a roll, well, that's a snack. If you put a hot dog in a roll, it's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog. Same with a hamburger.
So a sausage sizzle, which utilises the flat bread that is a requirement for a sandwich, you still would not call a sandwich.
No, because you only use 1 slice of bread.
Yeah.
You need 2 slices of flat bread.
Yeah. It's and that's why we call it a sausage in bread,
Yes.
because it doesn't fit a category, so we just call it black and white what it is.
All right. Anna, which way are you going to go here? Are you going to say that a hot dog is or is not a sandwich?
It is not a sandwich. It's a hot dog. It's a hot dog. We're in Australia. It's a hot dog. Same as a hamburger. You wouldn't have that as a sandwich, would you? A hamburger is a sandwich?
I just think it's in the sandwich category. It's in the sandwich family.
I'm really uncomfortable right now because I'm not used to being a front runner in debates and having people side
I know.
with me.
It's good. Luke for the win.
Yeah.
On this one, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I almost want to stop here so that it can't be undone. But let's just keep going just to prove my point. Beck, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog.
Do you know, your camera froze there and it froze with you giving a thumbs up. And then by the time it flicked, it went to thumbs down. I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what you were going to say. I said, I agree with you, or no, it's not a sandwich.
Yeah. All right. So
Sarah's asked an interesting question. Is the hot dog the meat or the bread?
yes. Yeah. It's the combination. It's a hot dog.
Yes, everything together.
Yeah.
But a sausage with bread, so that's a sandwich. Sausage sandwich. You go to Bunnings, where are you getting a sausage sandwich?
Yeah. Because if you take the hot dog sausage, you can do a Cheerio or a Sav.
Yeah.
And you put it in something else, it's not a hot dog. It's a hot dog in the hot dog bun. Yeah.
This is
very clear and straightforward.
This was not going to be a difficult question.
No, but
this community.
Is it only difficult because you're losing?
No.
And you're just not used to that?
It's just I didn't realise the complexity of the bread world of Australia.
Vicky, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I've never thought of it before, but I would have to agree with you, Luke. It's a hot dog. A burger is a burger, a wrap is a wrap, a sandwich is a sandwich.
They're their own category.
Everything
gets its.
Yep. I love it. I'm really unfamiliar with this winning thing when it comes to debates. I just don't even know what to do with myself. Don't know how to end it. I don't, and I'm notorious for being a good loser.
I know how to end it. I'm going off for a hot dog sandwich with Craig.
But I was going to say, I'm notorious for being a good loser but a bad winner. So let me put Craig back up on screen. Go, nah.
Hey, Luke, have you got up in the roof yet?
You just stop it.
No, he hasn't, by the way.
Stop it. I'm just going to stop it there. Stop it. We're talking hot dogs, Craig. Not rodents in a roof. Leave me alone. I love it. That's all our questions for the day.
It is, and we're so grateful for everyone who's been able to join us today. Thank you for being a part of the radio ministry that is Luke and Susie across the country. We really appreciate your thoughts and your involvement. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you next time.